What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. You know what day it is? It's hump day. It's hump day over here. And what are we doing? The Humpty Dance. We're going to give yourself a chance. You know what I'm saying? What are we going to do today? We're going to like the video, first of all. We're going to subscribe to the channel. And then we're going to Humpty dump our way over to the runway because that's what we came here for, y'all. It's Project Runway. It's season 21, episode 6, and we moving right along. I'm starting you. First of all, Project Runway over in the group. Everybody hates it. Everybody hates the changes, and I'm gonna have to say I'm not a fan of it either. The elements that are missing are, letting us be a part of what's really going on in there in the workroom. Those elements that have been taken away are definitely taken away from the show. I don't like to come over here and review things and complain about it, but the show this season, probably one of the worst. Out of 21 seasons, season 21 is absolutely the worst. There's no standouts over here. That's not just my opinion. I'm telling you what the people are over there saying in the Project Runway group. I feel like people that follow the group definitely follow the show and have been big fans for many, many years. So, things that have been taken away, choosing models. That's a big part of, what we're used to seeing. There's also, the workroom time. Everything is a one-day challenge. So we don't get to see people come back, after having, frustration and creative blocks. We don't get to see them come back and, readdress some of the things that they're doing wrong. It's a one-day challenge always. So I think that takes away a little bit of the creativity because you're limited to what you could do. Everybody's not over here with the ability to produce their best in one day. And I feel like that's the problem. We're not getting the best. Hey, El Cid rocking and rolling around in these YouTube streets. She just got done doing her King's Court review. So I really appreciate you coming over here, El Cid, and talk about Project Runway with us. I know, El Cid reviews the show, so I know she's got some opinions about I don't know if you want to call it budget cuts or whatever the issue is, the cutting out of for us creative people, we like to see the whole thing. We want to see the whole process. So anyway, enough of that. We're going to resume over here with this ugly peacock dress and this dirty pigeon dress that Madeline and, what's her name? Madeline Belania were over here. With some terrible dresses. They looked cheap. They looked not necessarily very well made. That wasn't Belania's issue. She's definitely didn't have any issues like with her tailoring, with her sewing skills, but it's her taste level that's a little wishy-washy. Hey, Motown investor. Not your two favorites. That's so sweet. Sid is one of my favorites as well. So we live in that same space. Anyway, I think we all knew that Antonio wasn't going home, even though his look was equally as bad as the other ladies. I didn't bring up a picture of it. We remember what it was. And at the end of the day, the judges decided that they didn't want to be fooling around with no dirty pigeons. So I guess they're just going to go ahead and accept this, cheap ass peacock that Belania made. So, I feel like Belania, the criticisms of you are very much accurate. The attitude is kind of weird to me because that's what you're here for. You're here for some constructive criticism. And I saw a dress. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up so you can see what I'm talking about. I thought I did it earlier, but anyway, Belania did this, I don't know, one of those daytime shows or what have you, with Heidi Klum. And this look is pretty atrocious. She says she didn't know who she was as a designer. I feel like she's still not really quite that sure But anyway, I digress. We're here to talk about what's happening here on this runway. And mm, did y'all love the looks? I don't feel like I was impressed by some streetwear. That's the challenge this week. We're gonna jump on in, and I don't know, my brain's all in a fog. We're gonna jump on in and try to give our, I'm saying our, but it wasn't really me. I wasn't over there. It was them. They were over there doing it, coming up with their idea of what streetwear should be. One thing that did come out of Antonio being in the bottom is him realizing that maybe he should try to shine without his brother. Go ahead and put some effort in. Blondie wants to fight and argue and argue. I can't argue with you. I mean, it doesn't make sense for her to argue with the judges. It's not a great look. Also, the Project Runway group, they're not a big fan of Law Roach. I'm going to go ahead and say that's probably clear people, and they don't really understand where he's coming from. He's a little spicy. My daughter said he got a 60-inch bust down, and so that for her is enough reason for him to be around, but that's neither here nor there. I think Antonio definitely, I like that. I was not necessarily impressed, but I was glad to see him thinking outside of just, being connected to his brother so much. I can see that his brother Jesus is the one that's the controlling one, and maybe he's been wanting to bust out anyway, but he's feeling like he needs to be attached to his brother. Like I said, they're doing streetwear challenge. El Cid says they're mediocre looks. I agree. Streetwear, it has such a wide range when it comes to what that is. It's kind of hard to define in a way. I feel like a lot of things are based off of New York City, and we don't all live in New York City. So what street is you going down? Are you going down? What street are you going down? And I feel like that should be the inspiration. And then you can stand behind your design. I don't feel like streetwear always has to be some kind of odd marriage of fabrics and ideas. I think it's an energy, it's a vibe, and that's kind of hard to define for some people. Miss Joan is inspired by streetwear back in the day where streetwear first started, and I think that's her problem. Miss Joan, you got to come from back in the day. Because back in the day ain't what, one day you're in, the next day you're out. That's what they said over here. So you can't be stuck in back in the day. And although Miss Joan is definitely a fantastic tailor, like her skills as far as tailoring are concerned are so impressive to me. But it's her idea, her design. I don't even want to say it's lack of taste. I just think it's lack of editing. She's definitely stuck in back in the day. She needs some inspiration from today. Yu Chin, well, he's a streetwear designer. That's what he said. And I feel like when they come to the one challenge that's right in your lane, I feel like that's when people choke. You feel like you're in this pressure to show them, like, this is my thing. I'm a streetwear designer. This is what I do. And he came up with, yeah, Joan is stuck on vintage, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think she should pull from some of these young people that are around her. She's stuck in not listening. And I don't feel like you have to listen to somebody whose design aesthetic you don't respect. Hey, Sue, sit your ass down, but we'll get to that. Yu Chin wants to make an alien jacket. I guess. I mean, if it's executed well, then I'm suppose it could be cool, but I didn't see it. I saw it in the workroom. I didn't see it on the runway. Yu Chin gets over here, and I'm not going to be mad at him because how can he be his best if he's always only got one day to do it? I feel like, come on, give them at least 2-day challenges. 2 days is long enough to execute your design, but always doing a one-way challenge. Where the thong, Joan? Oh my, do we really want Joan in a thong? I don't know. That's El Cid's opinion. I'm not sure I'm jumping on board with that, but hey, that's why we're here, to get each other's opinion. Yeah, I feel like Yu Chin, and not just him. Some people are very quick, some people are not. And so you see a lot of stuff with Yu Chin. Yu Chin has definitely a time management issue because his ideas are big and then he can't like execute them based on the time constraints. And it's unfortunate because I feel like we're missing out. We're missing out on seeing like some really cool designs that some of these people are capable of. I know I, as a designer, cannot give you my best necessarily in one day. I'm gonna have to be cutting corners. That's why Joan's tailoring is so impressive. Her math is good. The twins and Miss Joan made similar fabrics. I mean, similar outfits. They did. Uh, they did, and I we getting over there. We getting over there. Jesus is making another coat. I think Jesus is very good at making coats. Jesus is not very good at being cool. See, the cool brother was over there with the fabric that was very similar to the fabric that Miss Joan picked out. So he's got a very basic coat. It fit all right. Is it anything I would wear? Probably not with them zippers and that pink thing. He didn't need the pink. He's still salty, honestly, that he didn't win the last challenge where he made this gown that was inspired by Ethan. So he's so full of himself. I wish he would like sit down somewhere because, brother, you're not as grand as you think you are. They in the fabric store. Christian is not there. See how these checks ain't checking the way they used to? Christian taking days off. Nina Garcia not there. They know how to spread this money. If we had to sacrifice all the parts of the show just to bring Heidi back, then get rid of her and find a cheaper host so we can have our money back. Heidi, I love you and all, but this is not good for the show. If your check is so damn Law Roach, you too, you and Heidi can go if y'all's check is going to interfere with progress over here. We would like our hour and a half back. We would like all the things back that you took away. So, and give these people more than a day. I guess sometimes it's all right to have a one-day challenge just to see what they made of, but good grief. It's a lot of pressure. And all we're getting is mediocrity because that's all they've got time to produce. They running around the fabric store trying to, get their things. At some point, Joan and Antonio were, struggling over the same fabric. Antonio, she might have did you a favor by not letting you have that fabric. And I didn't hate the fabric. It was very loud, but she should have went ahead and got that backup fabric. Christian tells you, get a backup fabric because just in case, you're in the middle of your idea and you get a different idea, but you're not at the fabric store anymore, Miss Joan. You're so committed to making a whole suit out of the same fabric, and it's, not good. So it seems like the youth that she needs, she's very resistant to. Christian gave you a suggestion. Christian is young. He's hot right now in fashion. He's very successful in terms of being on, Academy Award winning runways. I feel like Miss Joan, just a little bit of advice from somebody. You can't tell me you don't respect Christian's aesthetic because he's fabulous and he always has been. Even when he had that hairstyle back there and he would always say fabulous. He should be able to, patent that word because it always belongs to him. Anyway, she chose not to listen. So there's that. Ethan is in the workroom making an elastic coochie onesie bodysuit. And his look has 247 pieces. Now, I am so impressed with this Ethan and the things he can do within a short amount of time. And not a brother to help him. Jesus, Antonio. Yeah, I think that Ethan makes a lot of things that are not necessarily vagina friendly. He said it's cunty, but child, that Utica just don't want to stay out of the workroom, does she? Antonio and Miss Joan, they have very similar fabrics. I will say, I did prefer the fabric that Antonio had over what Miss Joan had, and he also had a backup fabric. I'm just saying, he had a backup fabric to offset what he was working with. I'm glad to see him inspired without his brother. He may hell, we're halfway through, but he may, change my mind, child. If he takes the hoary, slutty thing out of all of his designs, then, maybe we could do something. Him and Ethan, if they edit a little bit and stop worrying about, did you see him? Well, I mean, I guess if y'all watched it, you seen it, but Antonio was over here throwing shots at Nina Garcia, and I was like, that is so ridiculous. When Nina see, this is how you burn bridges. She's the editor-in-chief at Elle Magazine, you nitwit. Whatever you was thinking, you should have saved that for that's another thing that we don't get to go back to where they stay at and listen to them like vent about their challenges and, bounce ideas off of each other. It takes away our passion about what's happening. You know what I'm saying? It would be really cool to see like where they're staying, if they're staying together and who's vibing with one another. It's just another element of the show that we don't have. All we know is they left there and they came back. I certainly hope that Nina comes back with fire for him. I want it. Because Law Roach was like, oh, yeah, it's not a very good business move. It's not a very smart move. Because like I said, she's a powerful woman in fashion, but who am I? I would like to not piss off Nina Garcia or La Roche when he wants to like look for somebody to, have a design for one of his clients. Who don't want to put Zendaya in one of your outfits? Zendaya walks on the red carpet in every single time. If you put Zendaya in an alien jacket, I bet you she kill it. So, I don't know. I just think that wasn't very smart. These judges are here, but they're also connected in the industry. And y'all are so in your feelings about your design that you only have one day to do. Like, say that. Say like I'm trying my best to do what I can within the confines of this, 24-hour challenge. Ethan is definitely some type of sewing machine genius. However, his designs are not always the best. I'm just saying. Although I was pretty impressed with what he did this week. I wasn't mad at it. I was confused when I seen the coochie rubber band bodysuit thing, but that is to be worn only on the runway. Ethan, like I said, doesn't have a vagina. BJ's being a hater. She doesn't like squares. She's criticizing Jesus's look. I didn't love it, but it's none of my business over there at your own table, VJ. Everything it's just a square with holes. I feel like that's what clothes kind of are. They need to focus on what Zendaya wear and Zendaya, Celine Dion. He has many clients that, they need to focus also on being featured in Elle Magazine. Not calling Nina Garcia witches and things behind her back. But hey, that's them Estrada's problem. They over there, having delusions of grandeur. Where was I at? VJ. I don't know what VJ was doing over there. She did choose a male model this time, which is not what they have done so far. Most of them like want to dress women. Yu Chin is a streetwear designer, according to him, so he's not gonna be shying away from menswear. I wish he would just do that. I wish he would just do menswear, even if it's like, in an androgynous kind of way. It might give him an opportunity. He's like focused on trying on these cool techniques and stuff, but he needs to focus on the design first and then go back and do that cool stuff after he has a model fitted, because every model is going down the runway with panty thongs and booties out and, boobies out. And we need some fashion if we're going to be judging fashion, people. Or we got a whole full suit. Miss Jones says she don't care what Christian have to say. That's not smart. Antonio and Joseph. I wish Joseph was still here, to be honest. I think this would have been a challenge I would have liked to see him, do. I'm not mad that Madeline's gone, or I don't even remember who else was here. Who else was here? Antonio. No, Angelo. So I'm not mad at who's gone. I just wish Joseph McCray was still here because, why not? Melania is over there and she said her streetwear is inspired by Audrey Hepburn. I was like, is it? Is Audrey Hepburn is like the opposite of streetwear. When I think of Audrey Hepburn, I think classic and refined, not streetwear. So maybe she should have added another element. Like, I don't know. Whatever I saw on the runway was not giving Audrey Hepburn, but okay. This challenge is helping her discover herself as a designer. I like that. Yeah, Angelo. I'm not sad he's gone. Literally, there's 6 people. I mean, left, 7 people left, but they started with 12, and I don't remember them. Isn't that terrible? Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn is definitely not streetwear. Well, according to Melania, it is. She's a classy streetwear inspiration. I'm glad Melania is figuring out who she is as a designer. That's difficult, and maybe that's what this, particular stage experience in her life is supposed to provide her with, some direction, because she definitely creates like she doesn't have any direction. She's young. She'll figure it out. I think that's why she's such a hit or a miss, because she doesn't really have. When you're saying Audrey Hepburn and streetwear, it's confusing when you say it. So I don't know what happened in her head, but she came up with something. It didn't remind me of Audrey Hepburn. Not none of it. Hammer time. Christian tells Antonio his pants look like hammer time. How old is Antonio, and why doesn't he know what is hammer time? Where do they live? Miami? Now, I know they know about hammer time in Miami. Was he being facetious? I couldn't tell. Because I was like, first of all, the hammer time pants was a thing, like a big thing. So he should have took that as a compliment. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the hell is hammer time? Child. You know what hammer time is. Feel like he was faking me. Yu Chin, I said he has time management issues. He always finds himself somewhere trying to figure it out at the final hour and then ended up doing something completely different than he started out with. VJ is another one with a lot of pieces. She's always over in that corner, like cutting and measuring, and she don't be bothered with those rest of those people. And Jesus is bothered. He said he's usually able to connect with people, but he's not able to connect with VJ because she's minding her business and doing her work. And for some reason that bothers him. Why does that bother you? Get your ass over there on the other side of the room with your brother. She don't want to be bothered. And she's probably scared. There's that person that walks around the room looking at your sketch pad and things, trying to steal from your ideas. That's something that actually happened to me in college. I was so mad. I was so irritated. And it wasn't even a dress that we were actually making. It was just in illustration class. And so we're doing our illustrations, and this was in the 80s, child. So, I was giving very much, mermaid dress. But anyway, I'm designing my dress. We go and take a break. There's a girl in the class. She walked around the room and she looked at everybody's paper, everybody's illustration, and she came back. And when she showed her, she literally stole the whole idea that I had. And I was so upset about that. And I'm sure that my idea, honestly, I'm a fashion school student. So the audacity of me to think that this is something like that was unique to me. It was a mermaid dress with ruffles on the bottom. But the color, the everything, like she just went and copied my work. And it's very frustrating. So that's probably why VJ is like, hey, Stoops, get your ass over there and mind your business. All you need to know how to do is make a square and put holes in it. The idea boy is on the other side of the room, and he's starting to realize that he's the one with the ideas. When you get yourself in a partnership, I think you definitely get used to leaning on the other person. And now that you're out here on your own, you're starting to see, you need to be a full designer on your own, and not just, in a partnership with somebody. When Versace passed away, and him and his sister used to work so closely together, when he passed away, Donatella was able to continue on with the legacy that is Versace. I feel like her and her brother understood each other in a way, and these two are actually not there. I feel like they're low-key competing with each other. Antonio said it when he got there. Even though this is a competition, I don't think the competition between them is always just here in this workroom. I don't know. VJ and what's the boy? Ethan, with all these pieces, are insane to me on a one-day challenge. I don't mean insane as in, I mean, it's crazy, but it's definitely impressive. Jesus, leave people alone. They don't want to play with you. His dress was boring. I mean, his coat was boring. He really needed to be over there focusing on his own thing. Like I said, that's what makes me feel like he was walking around trying to get ideas because he's out of them. He was over here trying to give unsolicited advice to Miss Joan. Jesus, I don't think Miss Joan has any respect for your aesthetic, and she don't want to be. That was so irritating. Like, he literally had his hands on her project, and I'm like, why is he doing that? She didn't ask him to do that. She was literally pushing her model away from him, like, get out, move. And when you're trying to be in your zone, in your creative space, and you're trying to figure something out, if I didn't ask you, what did Kenya say? Don't come for me unless I send for you. Nobody sent for you, Jesus. He feeling like his input is so needed. What you need to do is comb that curl off your forehead. It gets on my nerves. Ethan has a breakdown. I'm not surprised, Ethan. You have 147 pieces still to go. 100 of them was on that coochie bodysuit. And then now what? He's got 2 more pieces left. I don't know how many hours they've been in there, but geez, oh Pete, what this man could do in a day is nuts. So let's get on to these fashions and go into the runway. The guest judges is Kristen Cohen and Joan Smalls. Yeah, Joan been around for a while. Thank you, El Cid. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's the thing to do. Where are we going to start? Let's start in the middle. So we'll start with the people that were safe. I've talked so much about this man and his freaking boring coat. Let's get into Jesus. I mean, this is not a top. This is a strip of fabric with a bunch of zippers on it. They keep putting this model with these type of titty tops because there's no titties there. Like, if somebody was to really wear that like a real person, can your boobs go in there? I don't even understand how it works, really. And the coat, I hate that pink. I'm not going to disagree with VJ. Honestly, there is no design there. It is just a square. The skirt is not something we've never seen before. We've seen it many, 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 many times. And I think, are we still doing zippers? The hood isn't even well made as far as I'm concerned. He said when he was doing his sketch that he was going to make a puffer jacket. That ain't even what I would consider a puffer jacket. You think it's mid, Kylie? I agree with you. It's absolutely mid. It's pink like Pepto-Bismol. It's not even a cool pink. I want to know, though, can anybody fit their boobs in there? Like, my breasts are actually really regular and probably wouldn't fit that zipper thing. So as far as I'm concerned, he probably could have been on the bottom. Nah, Well, yeah. Okay. Raise your hand if you think this is better than Miss Jones. Because I don't. Now that I'm looking at it, because, they go by so fast and you don't really have time to break it down. Once I break it down, I'm like, this is definitely not better than Miss Jones. What street is she walking down, Heidi? The street of, irritable bowels? Because El Cid says it looks like Pepto-Bismol. And I feel like it does. Now that she said it, I can't unsee it. So, yeah, I don't feel like this was better than Miss Jones. Who else was in the middle? Safe. VJ. Well, what do you think? I don't love this either. I mean, I feel like there was a lot of work involved. The tailoring is just a little bit better. The leather squares, are they pockets? Are they patches? What is happening with leather pieces? They said it looks like London. I never been to London, but this doesn't remind me of London. It also giving Hammer Time. You put the pants, that Hammer Time jacket that MC Hammer had on that video. I don't know. I wouldn't wear either one of these pieces, and I wouldn't want to see my man in it either. So ugly. Motown Investor says that's ugly. Kylie says she likes Miss Miss Jones more than most of the. Yeah, you said you really liked Miss Jones. I know. I mean, you know why it is? It's because her tailoring is so good. More interesting than the last, but still, yeah, it's better than that coat, the Pepto Bismol coat. But is this one better than Miss Jones' outfit, guys? I don't think so. I don't think I want my guy wearing that. It's just okay. There's just never in these last couple of episodes, not all of them really. I've only seen a couple of things that I was like really like, ooh, wow, that's cool. It's ill fitting. I don't know if it's ill fitting or if it's the proportions. Like, I don't know that guys walk around with those. The gay boys do maybe, but I don't know. It's a no for me. It looked like some old school. What's that store that used to be in the mall back in the day? Something Chest, where the men's clothes were. Can the men get shirts? They didn't have time. They only have a day. One shoulder is bigger than the other. Now let me look at it. Is it because he's standing that way? He is giving a little wonky. He is giving a little wonky. Miss Joan about to get robbed. They playing in our face. Because that daggum zipper top was stupid. The Pepto Bismol coat. Now this right here, I don't know why we weren't in the top. I'm so confused as to why we're just safe here, because this right here to be created in a day, and I would wear every single one of these pieces. Maybe not the bodysuit. Like, I wish I could wear it. I wouldn't be able to wear it, but I sure would like to. Separately, the jacket, shrug jacket is so dope. And honestly, similar to something I made over the fall, but that's okay. He's here on a big platform. I am not. You can't tell me that this shouldn't have walked away as the winner. For me, this was the winner. You can fit the jacket. She said I could barely fit the jacket. You can fit the jacket because it's a shrug. That bodysuit is giving Cher back in the day. Those pants are ridiculous. He sit there, put all of those grommets in there and laced them up in several places. I don't understand how this man does this. Yeah, I don't know why this isn't the winner. They be playing games. Can you see Zendaya in this? Because I can. I feel like Ethan got it right on this one. The judges are literally insane. Well, Nina wasn't there. You need Nina to make some sense. Heidi, you can't trust Heidi because Heidi be, sometimes there, sometimes not. I don't know. Law is Law an ageist because he's always complaining about something feeling old. Even though Miss Jones' look was not youthful, it definitely wasn't this other stupid stuff that we're looking at. I'll give her VJ, but Jesus definitely not. He should have been on the bottom. Not even fair. Let's talk about the top. Antonio. Antonio is another one with this little bandeau top. He's got this little bandeau top. He's got a little crop jacket and these pants. What made them love this so much? I don't hate it, but it's just not, you know, compared to what we had to work with, I suppose. I do like the fabric. I think Miss Joan did him a favor by, snatching that fabric that she had. But this is like Heidi said, this is mid. I don't feel no ways about it. I'm really tired of them having these little bandeau tops and these little teeny weeny skirts and calling that fashion. That's not what's happening over here. This is not new. Is it streetwear? I guess. The cutest thing about it was the daggone teddy bear purse that Christian told him not to bring. But the other Christian Cohen loved it. So you just never know. But I feel like this is very much not special. It would have been better maybe if he did make hammer pants and a shirt. This is just a little bolero. Like there's nothing, I guess. The more I look at it, the more disappointed I am. I was feeling better about it before I came over here. I shouldn't have even made these pictures. Maybe I should have tried to remember what I was seeing in my head. What's the other top look, y'all? What do you think? This is the number one. I like the top. I wouldn't wear it. The pants, I would have worn if she would have left the mess pants. I feel like, I don't know what street this is. Did she say Harlem? What'd you say, Motown investor? You think they're designing for gay men? Maybe. I mean, I feel like with Antonio, that's probably something he would wear. He said that. Streetwalker wear. Oh my goodness. Well, if this is streetwalker wear, I don't know what wear this is. I mean, so the top spot goes to Bologna this week. I guess. I have not been at a loss for words as much as I am this week because there's just so no wonder why Nina didn't come. She's like, I'm not going to that. Y'all got it this week. HB, hate it. Hate it. That's better than this. Come on. Let's look at Ethan's again. Y'all are just trying to like not let Ethan win every time. You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. That wins. This doesn't. This doesn't. Because like when you look at it, I got to talk about what's giving me a fever. At least you could take that vampire bat wing shrug, and you can pair it with a white tank top and some jeans and some boots, and you would be killing streetwear. You can take those pants and put it with a t-shirt. And that's enough. And let those pants do what they're supposed to do. These are clothes that you would actually wear. And if you're lucky enough to be able to squeeze your body in that rubber band G-string coochie crack cootie cutting bodysuit, if I had the body for it, I'd do it. That's all I'm saying. I don't understand what the judge are on, Kylie. I think you're right. They're literally insane. Who's on the bottom? What'd you say, Motel's investor? I've seen better. Joseph McCray probably would have done quite well in this. because he likes those oversized jackets, and his aesthetic definitely gives streetwear. Ooh, this is a long one. What'd you say, Kylie? I'm so confused. What exactly are the judges on? Because how did that win? And how is Jones on the bottom? They don't. I don't know what their issue is with Miss Jones. I don't know what they're so excited about. This girl Belania. I feel like most of her stuff looks like junior clothing or something that you wouldn't. It's like a high school student project to me. Belania stuff. Let me. I didn't finish doing getting this little photo together. I don't know when this was, but and she's so bad about posting her stuff. One thing I'm gonna say, who was it on the bottom? Somebody was on the bottom this week, and they posted their stuff anyway. So, you chin, and I'm like, that's what you're supposed to do. Stand on it. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't not give us the opportunity to critique it. His was actually not that bad, and now that I'm looking at these, I'm kind of wishing he wasn't on the bottom. He's been my favorite throughout this season so far, but unfortunately there's not a whole lot going on with him. Let's talk about these bottom looks so y'all can be mad. You chin. I mean, I don't like it. I don't like it, and I feel like this is not what he intended. Um, yeah, but he didn't have time. But I don't feel like that. When you look at what Ethan did in a day, I don't feel like this took a whole lot of time. Like, what took most of the time? Him piercing the clothes? Because it's not horrible. It's just very boring. Like, very, very boring. And who else was on the bottom? My girl, Miss Joan. What street? I don't know. The fashion fair streets. That's what she's giving. She's giving very much fashion fair model. The hat, I don't know that I would have put on the hat. I don't know that I would have put on that hat, but I it's just not horrible. Like, I don't feel like the hat did that much to bring the look down. I was going to say RuPaul. Law Roach says she could wear that to church. I don't know what church she's wearing that to with her cutouts in the back and everything. This was painfully average. It was. Are you talking about you chin, the hoodie and the tennis shoes and the jeans? Like, I feel like I could go find that in my closet. You can go down to the H&M or the Forever 21. You chin. So you should have just put the alien on. Because it was at least interesting. I feel like it would have, took less time to cut a mouth in it. Miss Joan, I don't know. I feel like I said, what street are you walking down? Is she walking down the street of New York? It definitely not giving youthful. I wish she would have brought some black fabric just to tone it a little bit. There's some tweaking that could be done, but again, it's impeccably made. I happen to like prints, so if you're not a print person, then you're gonna hate this fabric. I don't think that her design necessarily works with the print either. Like, I feel like the print and the design is fighting each other because there's a lot going on. That being said, it's still better than most of what we've seen. So let me get this look that Melania had over here. And I'm like, she's got it on Heidi Klum, which is crazy to me because Heidi would never be somewhere wearing this. Melania's stuff looks like, her taste level, it's not there. It's just not there. What do I get rid of? I got to get rid of somebody before I can bring them up. Okay. Bear with me. While you're waiting, you know what you could do while you're waiting. You could go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. And, by the time you go do that, I'll be ready with this look that Melania is parading around on these streets. So here, this is her with Heidi Klum on something. What is that? Is that streetwear? Because she claimed that she's a streetwear designer. Where would you go in that? It doesn't look comfortable. The fabric doesn't, if the fabric looks cheap, it looks scratchy, it looks stiff. Who styled her? When are you ever going to see Heidi Klum running around in something like that? That's her aesthetic. That's her style. Well, y'all, we got Miss Joan in the bottom again, and I don't feel like she's going to make it. I feel like they're going to go ahead and give it to Yu Chin, even though the last 3 weeks Yu Chin has thrown on some soccer balls on somebody's booty and called it a dress, called it a skirt. What'd you say, Kylie? Compared to literally all the bad designs, it was the best of the worst. You mean Miss Jones? Absolutely. It absolutely was. Jesus should have been in the bottom. And I feel like Yu Chin should have been in the bottom too. I just don't feel like he tried much. But yeah, y'all, that was this week's episode. That was hard to talk about because there was nothing. If something is really bad, you can discuss it. I mean, bring back Madeline and the dirty pigeon if this is what we're doing. I don't know what next week's challenge is. Something about a cowboy. I'm finding it hard to stay interested. I hate that I feel like this because this is like literally one of my favorite shows that I would look forward to watching every week. And I kind of, I don't feel excited to watch it. What do y'all think? What do we need to do different to bring it back? Because I saw Tim Gunn. If you go over to the Project Runway page, Tim Gunn. They want Tim Gunn. For God's sakes, get rid of Law. Sorry, El Cid. Get rid of Heidi. Bring Tim Gunn. Bring in some, I don't know, somebody who's not as expensive or rotate the expensive people. I don't know. But what I need to see is more workroom and more talent. Like of all the people that y'all ran across, I feel like the only 2 people that belong here, to be honest, is Ethan and Miss Jones. So anyway, what's today? Today is hump day. I might have a little timeline tea for y'all and tomorrow. And then I'm taking the weekend off. So I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your hump day. And yeah, see you when I see you. Bye, y'all.